Hey everybody, hope you're having a good day so far. It's like unseasonably cool here in Texas, so it's always good for makes me happy. Alright, so today we're going to be continuing on Tactical Lizard Tamer, which is our main project. A copy, or not a copy, but kind of like a fusion of Pokemon and Fire Emblem with our own little twists. And today I'm working on, I think I'm going to work on loading save files. And the save files will be useful for three reasons. First of all, obviously in single player, so that you can save and continue a battle later. It'll also be useful because we can reuse the same system for replays. And finally, in case somebody reconnects, since this game has so much hidden information, you kind of have to rely on yourself in order to reconnect to a game, so you'll use a save file for that. So yeah, let's get started on this. So yesterday I finished the creation of a save file, and we can see some files right here. So yeah, pretty simple right now. I mean, all the lists are empty. So one thing we can notice though is that this one at least says the turn number is 1, so it's a little different. Okay, so we'll need to, I guess first we should just make the file loader class, which will create everything, and then after that we'll figure out how to go about loading it in the lobby. So yeah, we'll load the save files. So yeah, you'll have to load the save files obviously in the loading scene, but also the lobby will need to be able to load them to read like some metadata about it. So I think we should put the save file loader just in the base game logic. And maybe we'll do kind of like we did for saving, where we separate the actual loading from a file from the decompiling into the rest of the game. Actually, I will definitely do that because, for like I said, the lobby and the loading scenes will want to decompile the file it into different, to get different data from them. Copy this. And yeah, we'll use this folder path in the save file writer. We'll probably want to move it somewhere else eventually, but I don't know if we'll need that just yet. Actually, yeah, the loader won't even need the battle, to be honest. So let's This will be the Dr. Lizard Tamer game. Right, so okay, so I guess this save file loader would actually maybe it would have, because it needs to look and see like what files are there, and then maybe load a specific file. Figure out how this will be called eventually. And then we've got the file. Save file. Oh, yeah, I forgot the equal sign. Equals XML. Deserialize. Now we need to change this to file access read, and the file mode is open. And if the file's not found, then this exception would be raised, so that's fine. So that was pretty easy. So now we'll have, I guess we have to return the save file, don't we? And now let's have a second class. Which will maybe return all the save files in this, in the folder. Okay, so get sec. I think you can call directory, get files. I think that's it. So I guess we just have to call that, don't we? Well, first we should check to see if the directory exists. Equals save file writer. Okay, so if directory, that's not capital D, directory exists, then we return directory, get files, otherwise we just return new string 0, an empty array. Okay, so now we should provide a query for these two functions, I think. Or maybe we can just expose this class. So this will be on the global components. So I need to create a new enumeration here. Alright, so that's about it for this class. I just basically is our link to the file system, but something else is going to have to actually find the file to load. Now that I think about it, we might not actually use this find files, but for now it'll be fine. Because we'd have to build our own, like, file system. Oh, what's, like, pop-up dialogue. But yeah, we'll see about that. Okay, so now that that's done, I need to decide how will the game, like how will, while we're still in testing before we build the complete lobby, how will we let the game know that we want to actually load a file? Oh, I guess that's what this was, wasn't it? Yeah, so you load that file name. Okay, well that makes it easy. Okay, so what about the lobby parameters? Where is it? Okay, so I guess we'll also have public string save file. How will we, like obviously everybody's save file will be named slightly different. So over the network we'd probably send this, we wouldn't actually send this name. Let's see. I guess how we don't really do it is we just have a public bool has save file or not. But we don't need to do that just right this second. Just following my train of thought. Okay, so now before we exit this scene, like right here we can just say if test param or string is null or empty. Test params current. Save file, or wait, how do they call it? Load file. And we set the lobby params save file to null. Otherwise, we'd set it to whatever is in the current profile. Just for testing, of course. And then the asset loading controller is what will actually load the save file. And I guess I can just load it right here. It's a save file loader. Hey Nuffly, thanks for stopping by. Yep, this is Unity. Game components get save file loader. Alright, I will in just a second. all we have to do there. So I guess I'll comment this out so it'll actually compile. It's not, it's pretty still early stages. But once it loads, you can get into the map and you can see a little bit what I'm trying to go for. So like in the game you'll be able to move the little monsters around this map. So we got all the turn logic starting to go, starting to take shape. But obviously there's a lot more work to do. Right now I'm working on save files. Okay, so I actually only need to do this if so we don't actually know the lobby parameters here. Yeah, 'cause I guess we didn't need them before. Okay, so alright, so now we have the lobby parameters. We can see if string is null or empty. I guess I should check if this is false, because that means we actually want to load a file. And then we just call loader. First we gotta get the save file from it. Okay, so we call it lobby params, save file. Okay, and now we actually need the class that will decompile the save file into its separate data classes, basically the battle and the battle log. And that will happen only in the loading phase, I think, so I can add that right here. Thanks for following, Nefli, I appreciate it. Okay, so this will be save file. I guess I could call it the save file translator. I guess that makes sense. We'll have a loading asset loading controller. Okay, so kind of what this will do. Actually, now that I think about it, well, I guess we do need to load the controller now, but in the asset loading phase, that's not when we would be translating the save file. Alright, so let's see about this. Should separate this out, I think. Alright, so yeah, we'll still need the save file translator, but maybe I got a little ahead of myself. Because in the asset loading phase, we would basically get the save file, and then use the mods. Well, actually, we wouldn't even need this. So the mods that would be contained in the save file would already be in the lobby parameters. Probably. So we might not need this at all in here. We don't at this point anyway. It's on the map generation that we have to get the data that's in the save file to help us create the map. Okay, so lobby params. Okay, so now we did that. And right now we use the actual map scene itself generates the battle. But yeah, we knew that that wasn't going to be final the whole time. So let's go ahead and move that out, I guess. So basically how it'll work in this map generation controller, if you don't load a file, then you can call these classes just to generate some default testing state. It's the other way around, map.debug. Okay, but they expect a different controller. Okay. Let me just move this out. Don't think they actually need this map controller, but it'd be in the generation controller. Guess that's fine. Not worried too much about these classes because they're all just temporary. Okay. So now I'm back here. Or here is where I want to go. Alright. Unity engine. Maybe I should change the namespace so that we don't always have it conflicting with the Unity debug class. Let's see, what should I name it? Maybe testing. And now before I go too much farther, sometimes Unity and Visual Studio don't play nice when I move files around, so I'm going to make sure they haven't created duplicates. Okay, so yeah, this needs to be a public class now is what that error was about. Namespace log. Okay, well for some reason it renamed some of the other debugs, but that's okay. Just want to make sure. Some of these classes are, yeah, it's in the testing file, so that's okay. Alright, so enough with bookkeeping. Let's, well, not bookkeeping, but organization. Let's actually get to the meat of it. So let's see. I guess I'll just call the translator again. And this will have the map generation controller. Okay, and this will actually need the battle. And also set up the log too. Alright. What am I looking for? Oh, right here. So I want to get... Okay, so it just generates it. Okay. I was hoping that I could copy and paste this over, but it looks like I'm going to have to change a little bit after all. So get or register. Okay, so I don't have a create function. Let's go ahead and make that. It's just these static create functions just make it easy to work with my component system, because you give it a function that just returns a new battle, but it's only called if one doesn't exist already. And I'll do the same thing with the battle log. Okay, and I guess we should have a constructor to create new lists. That way we don't have to worry about creating them ourselves. Okay, so we got the battle, and I'll do the same thing with the log. The difference between the battle and the battle log is the battle will hold the current state of the game, where the battle log holds basically everything that's happened since the beginning of the game. And we've got to have both, because the save file uses the battle log mostly. Okay, so private void translate save file. I'll probably do this differently in the future, but yeah, for now I'll just have it something. I'll call this file or this function directly. Okay, so let's see. Oops, what am I doing? Okay, well, the battle log will be easy to do because we just copy basically everything from the save file directly. So log.players and log.monsters. And we'll need to do a lot of validation to make sure the save file is actually consistent, that it describes an actual working game state, if that makes sense. But I'm not going to do that right now because that's a lot of work, and I just want to get the bones of this system working. Okay, so we call add range because in the battle log the actions are a list, but in the save file they're an array. Okay, so yeah, now this is all set up. Battle is a little different because we've got to translate the player and everything from the actual save player. And for now we'll just do that in here. Translate player. So let's see. What kind of information does the player need? Okay, so it's got the name. That's not going to actually be stored here. That's stored in the client info, which we receive from the server. So yeah, that's okay. Okay, the player type. Let's see, how do we store that actually? I guess let's look and see in the save player. Okay, so I haven't actually added anything yet. So how would we save this? I guess we'd either have just player, or I guess none, and then player, then AI. And then I guess here we'd actually save the username. Because when you reload a game, that's how you decide which player you'll actually play as. I think that'll be right. I guess if there's username collisions, like multiple people play. Well, I guess if that ever happened, then that would mean that the save files, like for instance, how can I show this so that makes sense? If one player had something like player 0, his username cat, and then player 1 is username dog, but then another player had basically the same thing except their player 1 was dog, and so, or their player 0 was dog, and so they both try to log into the game with these separate save files and they both say they're player 0. That'd be one way we'd know that the save files are incompatible, I think. And I guess the lobby would need to take care of that. So I won't worry about that just yet. Okay, so do I need this? I don't think I have to store alive in the save file because we can tell that based on the monsters in the team. But we will need this. And then I guess we will need the AI script. Although we can't save this as an integer because the AI script would actually be a Lua file. But yeah, we don't know exactly how that will be handled yet, so I guess I'll leave that blank. Or I'll just leave it as an integer. But almost for sure it will need to be a string in the final game. Okay, so player type equals, and this just means it was an empty slot on the server, basically. I guess it's not really unknown, it's just none. Okay, so if it's a normal player, then okay, so whether it's the local or online depends on if we're the host or not. So how have we figured that out? I guess I'll come back to it. So if it's an AI, it's a local AI if you're the host, because the host always controls the AI. So yeah, we'll need to get this class because it will tell us if we're the host or not. Why it always tries to get that other global keyword. I've never used it. Alright, so if local connection is host, then the player type is local AI. Otherwise we know it's an online AI. And so I guess also from the local connection we'll know where our username. So if splayer.username is the local connection.username, then we'll know this is us. Otherwise, it's just online, okay. So I guess how I should actually do this is just put it at the end, and this will be a default if it's any other type. Alright, so what else? So it needs to know alive, but we'll figure that out by looking in the team. But we do need to translate that. Okay, so that's all I have to do there. And then I should create a constructor so that list will already be instantiated. Here's where it was. And we'll need to remember when we translate the monsters to add if the player is alive or not. Oh yeah, then we just got the script index. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so let's try now to translate monsters. Okay, so I guess this should be the S monster, which would be the save monster. Okay, let's see all the information this has. This has quite a bit. And yeah, all this stuff really won't be saved just yet because I have no support for it. So I think the only thing that we'll save right now is basically whether it's alive or not, because that's all we need at this point. So save monster. And then monster dot equals s monster dot alive, and then we just return. Okay, the other thing we have to translate the field, which is another name for the map. Okay, so let's look there and see everything we need to do. Okay, so let's at least my playlist is liking Undertale songs today. So we have some block data, which we don't actually use yet, so that's okay. Save field, so I guess all we really need here is the list of this map, which is basically the list of all the terrain blocks. Okay, let's actually do an unsigned short, and yeah, we'll need this too actually, because that describes the size of the map. But it will be pretty easy to translate across for now. So map equals save field dot map, and then the row size equals and slice size, same thing. Oh. Field slice size, and then we'll return the new field. Okay, so is that everything? Oh no, we actually have these actions as well. Which I guess we will need to translate at some point, but the battle doesn't actually need to know it. Okay, so for each var player and file players, battle.players add translate player. Okay, actually, yeah, here we shall first clear the players. And then battle monsters, clear. I'll do the same thing for HRM and file monsters. Add translate monster. And then battle field equals translate field. Okay, and then there's a couple other things we have to do. Turn number. Let's see what else. So the win state and winning player is not known yet. Okay, file name. How do I set that? I guess it would be set from the actual file. But right now we just set it to test gen, and I think I'll just leave it like that for now. Oh, well no, this isn't a... So that save file would actually need to be, because this translate doesn't know that information. I guess the easiest way would just be to store that in the save itself, but where even is the save file? It's gone. Okay, there it is. Which I guess I'll just do that for now. File name. Which I guess is fine because it's kind of like the battle's name. Okay, so battle.filename equals file. Okay, and so the last thing we need to do is for each of our player and battle players, so player alive equals false. And then we need to go through each monster index and battle, or wait, in player team. So if battle monsters monster index is alive, then p dot live is true, and we can break. Then here, if player's alive, we can. Oh wait, no, we need to cycle through every player, so that's fine. Okay. I think everything's set up here. Alright, so let's hook it up. So right now I'll just call the save file translator. And then we could just put this right here, translator, translate the file, and that's it. Okay, so we don't simulate the actions yet, which of course is important, because right now if you look, And this is just the start. Like the file, these are all the start values for all these. And so we need to go through each of these actions and simulate them on this map to bring it up to the current state. So to do that, we kind of need, we have these action executors, but right now they're tied to only work in the play scene. So it'd be nice if we could get them to be independent of the play scene. And the only reason, like this just uses the on monster move. So I wonder, how could I separate them? So it's action executor. So it just gives a command to execute an action. So, I guess what I really should do is for this move action executor, it would basically do the action and then maybe return what it did. And then some other class could then take that information and call this on monster change position, because, or maybe another way to do it would be maybe when we create this class to have a flag set. I don't know, that seems like it might be a bit too confusing. But we could have a flag set that we're in the loading scene, and so just don't call this message. But I think I'm leaning towards doing it the first way. Okay, so let's see. So these should be moved out. I guess this is probably in base namespace is fine. Alright, let's create a new item. It'll just be an interface. Not sure if this will have any functions or anything to call. I guess it would have bool execute action. Maybe that's how I can do it. It'll just turn true if it's able to. And then if something needs more information, they can always just try and figure it out. So public bool execute action. Oh, yeah, and of course it's an interface, so you don't need to write anything or have public right there, but and this would actually just have I guess it'd just be in the actual game. So yeah, we won't have the monster move anymore. Okay, so that sets the position. And then I would probably also update the log. So let's get that. Okay, well actually, maybe not. Because, let's see, in the loading phase, not loading phase, the map generation, we add all the actions to the log already, so there's no reason to add it again. Okay, so yeah, I'll figure out how I want to translate these two classes, the game action and then save action from one another. I guess we could do something like this where we just have a static class to translate. That'd probably be okay. Okay, so let's go back to the play scene, this action executor, and let's try and fix this up. Okay, and I need to cast to the actual game, or the more specific type. Oh yeah, so it's still using this old interface, but we don't actually want to use that anymore. Okay, and this creates the list. Okay, so the only thing I need to do here is figure out how we'll do the on action or on player moved. Yeah, so we might actually kind of wrap this move action executor in another class for the play scene, which would work. I guess let's go ahead and see how that looks. Oh, I don't want it to be an interface, but that's easy to fix. Okay, so basically all this does is public. And this will take the play subcontroller. Private. Oh, what was the message? I shouldn't have deleted it outright. Let's see, I think down here the monster prefab loader uses that message so I can see what the I like this. See what the type was. Okay, so this is a message, and I guess it was the index of the monster that moved. So on move equals controller components get a register. Okay. Okay, so I guess I was a little hasty. We need to add pretty much everything that I changed back. Let's rename this to action executor. So play move executor. Cannot be the same as our enclosing type. Oh, I see. Guess we'll leave a type then. It's not that big of a deal. And then this will implement that. Okay, and really all I do here is, oh, I don't even have the actual action executor yet. Executor equals new. Oh, that's not how it works. Move. Right, there we go. And then we just pass the controller game. Alright, so if executor dot execute action is true, then we can call on move action, or I guess send action source monster. That signals that this monster moved, and then we'd return true, otherwise we'll return false. Okay. So that's good here. I guess this class can go ahead and add that file to the battle log. No, it's not how I'll do it. Controller, game, components, get or register. Global comps, battle log. Okay. So I guess if this, we have the execute action, return false. That means there was an error. But I guess there's actually two kinds of errors. So I might need to change this in the future. Let me think. Because the first kind of error would be, oh, this action is inconsistent with the game state, so you need to try to reload the game. Another kind of error would be, oh, you can't move here because some other monster moved that we didn't have knowledge of. In that case, the move action would just fail, but the game wouldn't just, what's the word? You wouldn't have to exit the whole game. So yeah, we'll have to take those into account, but for now, I'll just do this simply. Okay, so anyway, so log actions, add action. I guess I'll just do to save action right here. Might change this in the future, but it's okay for now. Seems like I'm saying that for a lot of stuff today. So return new save action. I haven't actually added any information to that class, have I? It's basically all the same. We can do the same here, I think. So type equals type, source equals source. Oh, it's doing it backwards than I expected, but I'm not sure what I pressed there. I meant to press Control V though. Okay, so that's all good. The map generation. Now we need to so do we want to do this, like make a separate class for this right now? I don't know. I don't know how I'll end up doing it in the long run. But right now we just have move actions, so I guess I'll just do this really simply. Equals new action executors. Okay, and then just loop through each action in the battle log. Oh wait, I don't have the battle log right here. Okay, so for each var action and log actions. So if action.type equals move, then move execute action to action. And that's about it for now, I think. So let's say simulate actions. Okay, we don't actually have the log here either. So I'll just do file because it has the same information. Okay, so let's try and load and see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna close or delete these, I mean. And we'll start up once, just the same old-fashioned way. Okay, let's move those. Alright, so that worked. And so now I'll close it. Alright, come on. There should be something in there. Yeah, save editor test gen, and then I'm not going to rename it, I just want to copy the name. We'll tell the game to load this file now. And if everything works, the monster should start in that new position. Okay, so component for key 11 not registered. Let's see what that is. Map generation controller 32. Oh, I just don't create the save file loader. Oh, it's a global component, isn't it? So this should actually go in the game class. Okay, so let's see what happens now. System could not find save editor test gen, but it's right there. Okay, so this is actually the Unity. I should go a little farther. It should be assets, saves. So did I not do it correctly? So let's here in the save file loader. Oh no, it's not. I know what I did wrong. Back to the map gen controller. Let's close all but this. Alright, so right here I can't just give it the save file, I also have to say path. Let's do this way, system, path, or IO, path, combine. Okay, and then I need the map, save file writer, folder path. Okay, because right before I was just giving it just the file name, so it assumes that it's in that base folder. But I actually had to put that real server path before it. So now it should work okay. Let's try it again. Argument cannot be null. Okay, what's that? Okay, so... Alright, I don't think the save editor actually saves any of that information that we had. No. Yeah, see, it's all nothing there, so we have to go to the save file writer and actually have it actually save some information. Or no, it's save file compiler. Okay, so I think this is okay. Actually, now that I think about it, there should have been something in the actions. Yeah, it did save some actions, but it didn't save any information with it. Now, why is that? They're public. Yeah, it actually did. It has the save player right there, save monster there, but it didn't save any of the information inside. Why is that? Let's try that again. So I'll load in just not using the save file and see how. Okay, so it goes through and then it saved this. Okay, looks like I did the same thing again. So why is it not serializing it? Okay, so I'm a little stumped. So I guess let's here. I'll loop through the actions and we can see what the what's actually inside. So for each var action and file the actions. So debug log a. And then in the save action, let's add a toString method. String format, save action, and it has a type, source, player, source, monster, target, index. Okay, so let's see what happens when I play now. Did I just want to make sure now the game is set to not use a file. And it is, okay. Okay, so we gotta go back up. So save action 0, 0. Okay, so why are there extra ones in there? This is the correct data, but it's not saving it correctly. Testing. I wonder. Is it because the log's not set up correctly here? Okay, well I do add 2 actions here. That's where those empty ones are coming from. Yeah, here the start players aren't set up correctly either, but yeah, I'll fix that in a second. But I want to see why it's not saving these actions. Oh, okay. Now it's going to complain to me that the compiler is different. Oh, whatever. Because this was just edited. Actually, no. Oh. Okay, well now it saved them. I don't know what was going on. Yeah, so type none. Okay. That makes me feel better. Did it not update it? I don't know. Okay. Well, whatever is going on, it seems it's okay now. Okay, so now I need to put in the correct values for all this stuff. Okay, so start player 0. Instead of having a way to, I guess we will, when we set up a new game, we'll need some code to set up the, well, I guess we'd do it from the lobby parameters, but to be able to translate from the game versions to the save versions, but I'm just going to do something a little hacky for now. Okay, so what information does this need? It needs a type, which we know. Okay, so it is a little different. Maybe I shouldn't be lazy here. Let's see, private, at least for the player. Translate. Alright, so we actually want save player. Alright, so save player. New. Alright, we can't translate that directly, so we have to do a switch again. So if so switch player type. So if it's the local, then this player is, or wait, type is type. Not. And online. Let's see. So here the type is player. If it's AI or online AI is, there we go. And then default. This player equals none. Okay. Then s player dot username. Okay, we do know this, but it's stored. Okay, we do have the client info actually. Equals clients dot get. Oh. It's a static class. Okay, well, I'll just pass the username. That's the only thing we need. Okay, what else is in here? S player dot. oh, the team equals player team to array. And the AI script we can just copy for now. Okay, so start player is equals new save player battle players count for each, and battle players will translate it over. I actually need the count, so int p equals 0, battle players count. Okay, so log start player p is translate battle players p, and then clients get p dot username. At this point we'll know all the usernames because we're past the lobby now. I think, yeah, I actually use it right there, so that's fine. Oh, we don't actually return it here. Okay, so battle monsters count, and for int m equals 0, oops, less than battle monsters. And I'm not going to need a translate because the only thing we move over for now is if it's alive or not. Yeah, which is always true actually because it's the beginning of the game. Okay, and then oh, we actually have to create the new monster. Start monster m equals new. And alive equals true. Okay, and the log. So the map we can just copy directly as well. Actually, I think we can do this for also the row and slice sizes, of course. Okay, and then the actions is empty right now. So I'll just say log actions clear. Okay, so now that should be all set up and we'll get good values for that. Let's actually play it and see. Could not create file. Oh, it already exists. So that might have been some of the problems we had, but I thought that it would just overwrite it if that was the case. I guess not. So maybe let's just create then. Let's try it again. That time we didn't get an error. So let's see. Okay, so looks like everything is good. So this is kind of messy. We'll want to have a better way to read the field. You can change the way this is serialized, but I won't do it just yet. So player editor, team. And the AIs don't have a username, so that's fine. So it looks like everything is good. Let's play for 2 turns and see if it gets updated correctly. Oh, I clicked it opposite. Alright. And then the only difference is that this should have a different number of save actions. I just realized the monsters, we don't save the position. That's kind of important. Let's see. So public int position. Alright, so it's translator. You can just say monster.position equals s. Well, we use that knowable value. Which I'm not exactly sure how that will work yet. We'll see. Alright, I need to do the position also for this testing battle generator. Live and the position equals battle monsters m position value. Oh yeah, no semicolon. Okay, so now I think that goes both ways. Okay, so let's play a couple turns now and see. Alright, so save generation turn 0. Alright, so the monster 13, 18, so that's good. And then they move to 11 and 19, but on turn 1, yeah, this is of course the start state of the monsters, and then they add more actions down here. Alright. Okay, so now let's try to load into turn 0. And see if it works okay. One thing I just realized is actually on the save file, where is it? Translator. I need to actually increase this turn number by 1 because the turn number here is the number that the actions took place. So you increase it by 1 because the current turn number will actually be the next turn after that. Not that it makes much difference, but okay. So now when we load in the game, the monsters should be at the position after the first turn, and they are. Alright, great. So let's make sure to let us move. Okay, and so now if we look, okay, actually, yeah, this is identical, so I guess it didn't register that we changed it. And if we do another turn, oh, it's because it created a new file because I guess the save file didn't move over. Why was that? Not that it matters a whole lot if I do want to see. Okay, so these should, the start position should always be identical, and they are. Alright, so I just want to see real quick why that save file didn't move over, because I thought I put the file name right there. Oh, maybe the save file compiler, I don't think I actually put the file name, so that would be the problem. Oh, I have to put a comma. Equals battle dot file name. Okay. Alright, so I guess okay, so we got the beginnings of the save and load file. And that will allow us to reconnect after a crash, because basically we'll have to load back in to the lobby if somebody completely crashes. Okay, so I guess reload into lobby if player crashes and wants to rejoin. But I think we'll do this pretty far down the road because we need to actually have the lobby created. Okay, so let's see. Change disconnected client to an AI. I can do this. And these are all just error things, so that'll be pretty easy. So I guess we can try to do the server timers real quick. Okay, so yeah, after every phase, the server will basically force all the games to move on if they take too long, which basically one player is just wasting time. Okay, so that would be down here. Networking server. Hi Chocopix, good to see you again. I'm doing pretty good. How are you? Okay, so this will be, I don't know, play timer manager. Alright, so oh, you have a 4-day off holiday? Wow, that's nice. Okay. So, kind of want two different timers here. Well, probably in the final game, I'll allow myself to set these timers per phase. Maybe even have like a config file for the host. But for now, I think I'll just do one period for everything. Oh, I'm putting that in the wrong space. Okay, so this is the server controller. So I guess it could actually be a constant. Let's put it at 2 seconds. That's not enough time to choose, really. Okay, so let's have a separate one for the choose phase. Okay, let's give 20 seconds for that. And the other periods, 2 seconds is more than enough, I think. What am I doing today? Well, I just finished putting in support for save files, which will let the game, in the future we can do replays, but it's also needed to reconnect to a game if you crash. And so, since I finished that, I'm just moving on to some odds and ends. Specifically, I'm doing like server timers, so that if one player tries to waste your time by not doing anything, the server will eventually just go on without him. Okay, so then we'll have the actual timer here. Some things we'll need to do is if somebody gets disconnected, we'll disable the timer because we'll wait for them to reconnect until the host, because the host at any time can decide just to kick them. So let's see. I wanted to copy and paste this so I don't have to type it all out. I guess we will need the phase as well. And let's see. And whenever the phase changes, then we'd reset the timer, so we'll need to subscribe to that. So phase, interstate, subscribe, new, simple listener. Okay, so on phase change. Okay, yeah, this is the play phase, so we need... Oh, no, that should be fine, actually. So if phase state does not equal 0, and then private bool timer frozen. So timer frozen equals, whenever we lose a connection, the timer will be frozen if anyone client is disconnected. So set it true. And I guess we can break out of it at this point. Gotta register for this message, so allow us to update every frame. Let's see, server tick. I guess an easier way to do that. Let's see, private. This will help us register and unregister for these tick function. Controller game this. All right. And then we'll set this to set it inactive right now. Private void refresh tick active, and so we'll be active if so what I actually do is bool any connect, well, it'd be any disconnected. And then we'll see what the phase is, of course. Let's see. Okay, so we want to receive the tick function if we're in any play state, which means the state is not none and not any disconnected. Okay, so alright, doesn't need 2 there. So right here we can just say refresh, or we can just insert this function right here. Oh well, we do need to know when a new phase starts actually, so. Okay, so first, refresh tick active, and if phase state, well I guess we just always restart the timer whenever the play phase changes. Okay, so now we can increment the timer, and if the timer is ever greater, okay, well, how do we have to do this? Bool time exceeded. Starts false. So switch phase state. That's a server play phase. And if it's a choosing phase, then we have a longer timer. So time exceeded equals timer greater than or equal to the choice period. Why is that not showing up? Oh, I call it choose period, okay. Anything else is this time exceeded equals timer greater than or equal to other period. Alright, so if time exceeded, then we need to private void send time out message. I guess the server could maybe do this also for loading. That'd probably be a good idea. Let's see. Yeah, but this will just be for the play timer, so we'll make another separate class. What am I looking for? A message key. So this is server time out. So we just send unity link. Okay, well, actually how I do it is connections send to all server time out, and it's a new empty message. And also, we need to have an actual message that we give to all the objects on the server, because it will need to go to the next phase when the time is out. controller, game, components, get or register. It's a simple message. Okay, so time out message. So how do we do this? So I guess the play accept, is this what? Yeah, so it's whenever we so basically in this phase, if we time out and we haven't received a message from a certain player, then we'll need to just basically say they sent no actions, which is fine. Some of the other phases, like for the ordering, if there's a timeout, I wonder what the server could do, because it might need that information from the other player to actually go forward. I guess they could just remove all the actions performed by that player. Something to think about that. So this might be a little more complicated than I thought at first. Or maybe if you time out in any of the other phases, then it's basically the same as an error, and that player has to be kicked. That might be the way to do it. Because, yeah, the only time that there's ever any input is during this choose period. So that's really the only time that you can just ignore a player. If they don't respond in time for any of the other periods, then that means that basically they've encountered an error. Okay, so yeah, I think that's how I'll have to do it. Okay, so maybe I should go ahead and update the error handling before I go any farther. So what I kind of do is if I get an error, I don't update the phase, which is fine. So I think what I'll actually do here is that a timer manager, if we're on the choice phase, I'll send this timeout message. If it's on any other phase, I'll just send the error message. Or maybe I'll always send a timeout message, but instead of sending empty, it'll say something like handle as error. trying to decide what would be best here. I guess I could combine the timeouts with error. And then I don't even need the separate timeout function because okay, so on the choose phase, let's see what happens. Basically, if one player doesn't send anything, then the server could just send the already check to true and set that one player's choices to have been nullified. That's basically what happened. That's probably not the best idea. I think the server should just send this time out and then proceed to the next phase. But then, yeah, I think we'll always just send this time out. Try not to get fancy here. But then, the clients will know that if it's in any phase besides the play phase, then that means that they need to just exit. So I guess we should just make a timeout message. I don't know why I was thinking this would be simple. I should know that anything with netcode is not as easy as it first seems. Okay, so we have none. So yeah, I know we'll do loading, but I guess we don't implement that yet, so I shouldn't just add it. Okay, so we'll have play choice and then play error. Okay, and then we just have type, and that's all I have to send. Okay, so I should get the type here, because we might actually change the phase during this on timeout message. So switch, server, play phase. And right now I'm just going to just ignore the loading phases, so so in that case, this is just any other phase. Okay, so this is a new timeout message. Okay, so let's see. So play actions except. This one will be pretty simple. This is what I was looking for. So, dot subscribe new simple listener, which will be on time out. Okay, one thing I just realized is we narrowly escaped a pretty big problem with this on already by sending the ready check type instead of relying on the phase completely, because the phase can actually change from previous handlers of this message. So I think we should also send the timeout type. Be safe. Now I'm going to need to copy this like that. Okay, so if type equals play choice and phase dot state equals int play, oh, that's not server play phase choice actions calculation, then we're going to need to change this a little bit. Let's move this out. Extract method, advance phase. Okay, so yeah, how I actually should do this is ready check type. Equals wanted ready check type. We did that backwards. And then if ready check type is not 0, then that means that we'll pay attention to this. Okay, so basically if we didn't receive something from this client, we clear received after this, don't we? Yeah, right here. But maybe I should move this. Alright, I got the wrong thing. This isn't the advanced phase. Right here is advanced phase. Okay, and so what I'll do here is basically if client does not equal none and received contains key I, which means we got actions from them. And that takes care of basically everything. Okay, so advance phase. Oh yeah, ready check type. So my problem is that this doesn't clear the ready check So I guess I need to create another little message for that. Okay, so where is that? Simple ready check. That's not what I wanted. Okay, let's see this. Okay, so play simple ready check manager. We need to have another command here. Okay, so controller game components get or register command, nothing else. Server comps play ready check clear. I don't think this is strictly needed. Clear ready check because in the ready check, maybe what I should actually do is just if this phase ever changes, I clear the ready check. That's probably a better way to do it. That way I don't have to rely on people to, well, not people, but other objects to send that message. Okay, so on a phase change, then we just call ready check clear. I think that should be fine because the ready checks always happen. Yeah, in between a phase. Yeah, so when it gets a timeout, that's fine. Okay. Oops, I've run a little over. Let's just make sure that we can still walk through a turn before I wrap up. Oh, I did it backwards again. Okay, looks like everything's still working, so that's good. Although, of course, the timer isn't actually active right now, but alright. I guess that's it for me for today. Got quite a bit done, but of course, the timer is a little more complicated than I thought, so let's write some notes here so I remember what else to do. Instantiate timer manager, server side time out error handling, and then of course the client side timeout handling for choices, and ditto for errors. I shouldn't do that because once we complete that event, we won't be able to see it. So okay, I'll move this down because I might not do that just yet. Okay, so this will be our roadmap for tomorrow. We should finish with all this, which will be good because Friday we'll do a self-contained tutorial stream. So if anybody has any requests for that, feel free to message me or tweet at me. Again, it'll be about a 2-hour stream, and I'll try and go through some tutorial or showcase of some programming problem. So is that a... okay, just look like an L. But anyway, yeah, thanks everybody for coming by, watching and chatting. I'll be back tomorrow at 10 Eastern, and we'll finish up all this error handling, hopefully. If you missed part of the stream and you want to catch up, you can check out my YouTube channel in my description below. And yeah, feel free to follow to be notified when I go live. Thanks everybody. Hope to see you later. Bye bye.